Finding the midpoint of a line is what we're looking at in this video. So split into 4 parts. We're going to start off by looking at examples with vertical and horizontal lines. We're then going to move on to looking at examples of finding the midpoint with diagonal lines. And then how do you find the midpoint of 2 coordinates without a graph? And then finally, how do you find a missing coordinate given a midpoint? So the way my video work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and I've got the example on the right, which is you do. And at the bottom, you can see the type of example it is. So here we've been told to find the midpoint of A and B. So the coordinates of A are 1, 1. So if I plot that here, that's the coordinates of A. The coordinates of B are 1, 5. I can plot that there. Now I can connect this line together. And I can see this line is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares up. So halfway, the midpoint is going to be there. So if I just mark that on, that's going to be the midpoint. So the midpoint is the halfway between the lines, and the coordinates of that are 1, 3. That's our answer here. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a quick example on the right. Now I have linked these slides down in the comments below, so you can print them off and work along with me. So the coordinates of A are -2, 2. And then we have 3, 2 for B. And join that across. And halfway, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares all together. So halfway will be 2.5. So that would be there. So 2.5 is there. The coordinates of that are going to be 0.5 and 2. So here's the practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now moving on, we're looking at diagonal lines. So again, we're going to plot A and B. So A is -1, 1. And B is 3, 5. So now it's a diagonal line. Now with the diagonal line, we can see to go from, if I just label A and B, now to go from A to B, you go 1, 2, 3, 4 across and 4 up. So because we've gone 4 across and 4 up, to find the midpoint, we're just going to do half of that. So instead of going 4 across, 4 up, we're going to go 2 across, 2 up. So that is a midpoint there, okay? So that's a midpoint, and the coordinates of that are just going to be 1, 3. Now again, hopefully you press pause and had a quick example on the right. So -2, 5 is there. In fact, let me just use the same color. So -2, 5 is there for A, and for B we have 0, 1, which is there. If I connect the two lines together, awesome. And now to go from here to here, we are going 1, 2, 3, 4 down and 2 across. So that's 4 down and 2 across. So if you half that, that's going to mean we're going to go from here, we're going to go 2 down and 1 across. So that is a midpoint there. And the coordinates of that midpoint are -1 and 3. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And moving on, so now looking at cases without a graph. So how do you solve something like this without a graph? So to find the midpoint, we're going to look at the x coordinates first. So the x coordinates are 1 and 3. So we can do 1 plus 3, divide that by 2. So if I just write x here, so we're looking at the x coordinate. That's 4 divided by 2, which is 2. That's the x coordinate. And for the y coordinate, we're now just going to look at the y values. So if I just highlight that in a different color, so that's going to be that 1 and 5. So that's going to be 1 plus 5, add the 2 together and divide it by 2, which is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So the coordinates are 2, 3. That is the coordinates of the midpoint of the line AB. So that's how you do it without a graph. Okay, so you add the x coordinates together, divide it by 2, add the y coordinates together, divide it by 2. So again, looking on this side, we're going to add the x coordinates together to get x. So that is going to be 1 plus 9, divide that by 2, which is 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So that's my x coordinate of the midpoint. And now to get the y, we just add the y coordinates together. So that's going to be 2 plus 16, divide that by 2. 18 divided by 2, which is 9. And the final answer, so the coordinates of the midpoint are 5, 9. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now moving on, we are looking at finding a missing coordinate. So we've been given the midpoint this time. So it says the midpoint of the line AB is 2, 3. A has coordinates 1, 1. Find the coordinates of B. So if you were to roughly visualize this, we have a point A here, and then we have a midpoint of that. So let's just call this M for midpoint. We know the coordinates of A are 1, 1. We know the coordinates of M are 2, 3. And they're asking us, well, what are the coordinates of B? We don't know this, okay? So in this case, what we can do is we can just say, well, the coordinates of B are just going to be X and y. So those are the missing coordinates. Let's just call them x and y. So now to find x, we can just say, well, let's take the coordinates of a. So that'll be 1 plus x divided by 2 is equal to 2. So what I've done here, I should probably use my highlighter to point out where the 1 came from. So this 1 is coming from there. This 2 is coming from there. Okay, so I've taken the x value of a and I've taken the x value of the midpoint. Now if I rearrange this, that becomes 1 plus x is equal to 4, because I can just move this 4 over, and then that means x is going to be 3. So that's x done. And now for y, we are going to use the y value of a. So that's going to be 1 plus y divided by 2. And the y is actually coming from here. So because that's what we're trying to find. So we found what this is now. Now we're trying to find what y is. So that'll be 1 plus y divided by 2 is equal to 3. And the 3 comes from, let's use a different color there. So hopefully the colors are helping make sense of this. And that then becomes, well, we just rearrange that to solve it. So 1 plus y is equal to 6. So y is going to be 5. So my answer is the coordinates of b are 3, 5. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a good example on the right. So this time we have a midpoint, and we want to find the coordinates of b. We don't know what that is. So again, we can start by finding x. Now to find x, we can just take the coordinates of a, take the coordinates of the first point. So that's -2 plus the missing coordinate of b. We don't know what this is. Let's just call it xb. We're going to half that, and that is going to equal to the midpoint value of 5. So that's for x. So all I've done here is I've looked at the x value of the midpoint, the x value of coordinate a, and used the formula. So that now becomes -2 plus xp is equal to 10. And that means that xp must be 12. And for y, the exact same thing. Now we're looking at the y coordinate. So we know that's going to be -3 plus the y coordinate of b, divide that by 2 is equal to 6. That is going to be -3 plus yp is equal to 12. And that means that y is equal to 15. So the missing coordinates are 12 and 15. And again, you can visualize this line. So you'd have a here, and then you'd have midpoint there, and then you'd have b there, and you knew what this and this was, and that was the missing one. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And if you would like some more practice on this, I've got a full worksheet linked down in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, I've got loads of other content like this on my channel. Do check it out.